Welcome everyone to day 3 of our Illustration and Digital Painting Week.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Alice, your host, and I'm joined by illustrator Roman Muradov. And we are here in San Francisco in the Adobe offices. Hey everyone. So let us know in the chat where you guys are tuning in from. For us, it's morning here, but for a lot of you guys, it's probably afternoon, evening, so...
Or night.
Or night, yeah. So yeah, we've been working on a lot of cool stuff this week. Roman has been mainly improvising, which has been cool to see.
Yeah,
for the
I'm gonna keep improvising.
Yeah.
I have no idea what I'm gonna draw today.
Awesome. Okay.
So.
Matthias in the chat says, "Oh, Roman looks happy."
Now they wore me down.
Now he has adapted to early mornings.
That's how you do it.
Yeah. Hello from Los Angeles. Hey, Helen. We've been having a contest every day for you guys for one person to win a Creative Cloud subscription, and there's always a theme. The theme was bikes on day 1, and then it was rainy day yesterday, and the theme of the day today is crown, as inspired by an illustration by Corey Brickley. So that's what we'll be doing the contest on. And of course, Roman, you are welcome to go with a theme or not if you don't want to. So,
well, yeah. I'll go with something, and then if people can suggest something to me, I can navigate through that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Like yesterday, people suggested a horse.
Yeah, and the horse appeared.
The horse was a
magic
major...
of Photoshop.
Yeah. And then people suggested other stuff the first day. I don't remember quite what it was.
Well, yeah, the girl with the scarf and everything.
Oh, yeah,
It happened to be the sort of thing I would draw anyway.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a huge challenge.
Yeah.
But,
so feel free to toss out some strange and interesting suggestions for Roman to consider.
Quite.
Crown
is an interesting prompt.
Yeah.
Could be many things. I give this kind of assignment to my students. I would give them a couple of words, and I would tell them to just dwell into them and tear them apart. With crown, you get the crown, but then you also get the crown of the head. Also contains the word crow in it.
Oh, yeah. And owl.
Owl, yeah.
Yeah.
So then
and
maybe
row.
that can be and row.
And own.
And own.
The possibility, and cow.
So I think there's a story emerging already. So maybe a rowing contest.
Yeah, the possibilities are endless.
Need to limit now.
Yeah.
In terms of style, well, the first day we did something with color overlays with just 2 layers. And second, I did the mix between a very clean line style and something blobby and improvised. And today, I don't really know. Do you have requests? I think we can do maybe something painted, because I don't really do that at all.
Or what if you did, what if you had a weird constraint for yourself?
Well, like what?
Like you're not allowed to use the eraser.
All right, let's do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. That was just a suggestion.
Yeah, well, why not?
But,
so let's just do everything in one layer. And
yeah, dang.
I'm gonna...
That's bold.
That's how I roll. Well, first of all, should find some brush that I like. Many brushes here that someone kindly left on this computer. Photoshop, I imagine.
So we've got a lot of really interesting suggestions. Wayne suggests octopus. And Timothy suggests giraffe driving a car. So Helen, and for those who are just joining us, we are drawing something around the theme of a crown. And we're taking requests and suggestions, challenges, perhaps, for Roman.
Questions?
Questions, yes.
Well, maybe it could be fun to do something with this extremely soft brush.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of disgusting. I like it. All right, let's add a base color. Yeah, maybe I'll just go in one layer without any eraser. So
Cool.
I don't do digital painting at all, so I have no idea how to do it.
Oh, Robzilla suggests drawing me with a crown.
Oh, you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you don't have to. That's just a suggestion.
Well, I can do it as a
Oh,
warm-up.
Ahmed has a great suggestion. He
Yeah.
says something reflecting Ramon's mood today.
Oh dear, you don't want that.
Yeah, a lot of really cool suggestions. A Russian fairy tale character, hippo with a crown.
Hippo with a crown.
Yeah, so if you're interested in learning more about the contest, you can find more of the details in the contest tab, which is to the right of the chat. And then something we've been doing this week is we have a new submission form. So the link is different today than it was yesterday. It is bit.ly/submitadobe. It is the last day of the stream. Oh, and Timothy said that you just used the eraser, so he says you cheated.
No, I didn't. I picked color from the background and I used the brush to go over it. So
Hey, Rocky, shout out.
don't diss me, Timothy. And that's you.
Oh, thanks. That's so cool.
All right. I guess I can.
Okay, bye.
Well, it's I'm not gonna do that for the rest of the. So maybe I can adjust this brush so it's not quite as soft,
Okay.
or
So you're going
I
into
can
brush dynamics.
maybe just turn off shape dynamics altogether so it's always the same, and then I can go to transfer and there's opacity. Flow can increase the flow a bit.
And what does that do?
Well, it makes it a bit harder, I guess.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Does it? I don't know.
Oh, like the brush becomes harder
Yeah,
rather than soft. Cool.
a bit. Oh, it's still very airbrushy, very different from what I would normally use.
So when you're working on client work, would you experiment totally like this, or do you kind of have limits?
Well, it again depends on the client. So some would allow me to do this kind of business. Most of them would not. So yeah, so some of them want something very specific.
Okay.
Like maybe it can be the opacity has no control and only flow has control. So I don't really know what flow means all that well, to be honest. So maybe it will be an exploration of that. Okay. So any interesting suggestions there? We can go with a crown.
People are talking about clients right now.
Oh, clients.
Pesky
Okay.
clients.
What are they saying about clients?
Just pesky. Oh, Anita says, how about a genie escaping from the bottle?
Yeah. All right.
So for those in the chat, feel free to share what you're working on right now, and on the topic of clients and projects.
Mm-hmm.
What are you guys working on? What mediums are you guys working in?
Okay. So maybe I can make a couple of brushes and switch between them. So this one will be hard. And can take off the texture and can make it a bit more round. And I can. Okay. So I can save that one as well. Now I'll just go between these two brushes. See what happens.
Cool.
So this one gives me a pretty hard edge. Which can be an exercise in going between hard and soft.
Okay. Sounds fun. Awesome. Thanks for sharing, everyone. A lot of really interesting
So what are they
projects.
saying?
Caroline from France is doing illustrations for a book. Madison is a 3D designer but wants to become a freelance illustrator. Some people are working
Don't
on.
do that.
Some people are.
It's not worth it. No, I'm just kidding. You should totally do it. It's brilliant. I mean, look at me, a happy man.
Some people are working on logos. Robzilla is making an appearance at the Williamsburg Apple Store this Saturday.
Oh, well, he plugged himself.
Yeah, And
I
I-
thought, well, it's very nice of him to show up.
and now we are
It was just an excuse.
plugging. him.
Yeah. But fair enough.
Yeah, and Timothy has a request that I would echo. He asks, Roman, tell me stories like the last 2 days. Need to hear that brain think out loud.
Well, you're going to be a bit more specific. What stories? And
Should we
you can
give you a
ask me
prompt?
specific questions like, do I wear pajamas? Or
What do you wear pajamas?
no, I would like to. I had a great pair of pajamas, but I tore them
Oh,
because I was doing yoga in them. So
oh.
yeah.
Can you just sew
Um,
them back together?
No, it was a while ago. They're long gone.
Oh,
I would like a new pair of pajamas. I
Pajamas
really
are
like the
cool.
pajamas at Muji, but they're kind of pricey.
yeah.
Maybe I'll wait for a Christmas sale or something.
You could get like a startup T-shirt or something. And just like sweatpants.
No. How would I sleep at night?
well, like because you're not gonna wear it probably for other reasons.
Yeah, I guess so. Still, my body would know. No, I never had the startup T-shirt. Well, I imagine you had.
I feel like you could just like walk a block here and
Right.
be like hit in the face with one of them.
Well, there's a homeless man near our studio who always wears a Dropbox T-shirt.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Mm.
and he would carry sort of cardboard boxes of things with his possessions, and I always think that's quite sad.
Hmm.
But also, it also looks a bit like a bad metaphor.
It is a
Like,
bad
like someone
metaphor.
came up with it, but it's real. Very
Yeah.
very confusing stuff.
Yeah.
But we both work in the mission, which is
Yeah.
the central for hip startups and whatnot.
Oh, for sure.
So-
Gentrification. So Timothy Reynolds says, "Depressing stories, please. I hope this is
Oh,
sufficiently depressing."
well, I hope Timothy is pleased. I know who he is.
I hope you're
Yeah,
pleased.
he's
Yeah, I really liked your work.
a
Timothy.
funny man.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'll do something semi-abstract.
Ooh, Wayne says he finished drawing out the story of a
Whoa.
childhood monster called the Silver Monkey. Maybe Ramon draws out his childhood scary monster.
I don't know. I was very scared of my grandmother's earrings
Oh, really?
for no particular reason.
When you were younger?
Yeah.
What
I
kind
mean,
of
not
earrings
now.
does she have?
normal earrings. They were pretty elaborate.
Okay, elaborate normal earrings.
Yeah. Well, they were not the sort of minimalist hipster thing you would find at craft fairs, obviously.
What you're doing right now is really cool. You're cutting out, because you can't erase, you're cutting out
Yeah.
pieces of the...
Right. So I'm kind of messing it up on purpose.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give like an underpaint thing.
Mm.
So now we never have any white. Well, it's the old rule, not quite rule.
It's the old
That
rule.
yeah, that you shouldn't use if you're painting. You shouldn't probably use. Oh, I should save it. Good idea. Save your files, everyone. That you should not use pure black or pure white in
Mm.
painting, right?
Yeah.
Have you heard that?
Or, I mean, in web design, using pure
Yeah,
black.
absolutely,
Pure black.
yes.
But you should use pure white. I think that's important.
Mm.
Or
Well, in comics, it's a bit different. If you use black outline, then it kind of blocks things and whatever. So painting is a whole different beast.
yeah, that's
I
cool.
find it nearly impossible.
Saving is important. Yes.
Yeah, I'm so bad at it. There's so much I've lost in my life.
I'm really paranoid. I save like every
That's good.
few
Yeah.
minutes.
Well, you get spoiled by the latest software that doesn't force you to save things all the time.
Yeah.
And then you go into VR or something horrible like that.
I know. I
And
told you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I lost days of work in VR because Quill is a bit, how do I put it, on the MS Paint level of
What do you use for painting in VR?
Quill.
Oh, okay.
What about you?
So for those who aren't familiar, we both are doing projects in VR right now.
Well, I finished mine.
Okay.
I think the animators are working it. So
Wow, cool! That's so awesome. You have successfily completed a project. I'm like
you have unsuccessfully.
I'm like
You've
in
made a
progress
disappointment.
/ like trying to learn. So
Oh, okay. So you're still it's still exciting for you then.
yeah, it's totally. So we've been working on VR on the Oculus, and the painting software is called Quill, which is really cool actually.
Yeah, my friend Wesley Alsbrook, who's a very good illustrator.
Her project is in the gallery. For
Well, she
Quill,
kind
it's
of
awesome.
helped to develop the entire thing in a way.
That's so cool.
Which is why it looks like it's made for her, because it kind of is.
Yeah, and I think it's really cool because some of the other samples in the gallery were very like shape-based, like almost like 3D sculpting. And then her stuff is like
it's very gestural.
yeah, it's so cool.
Do you see mine?
No, it wasn't in the gallery.
I guess it's not good enough.
Well, is it public?
I don't know. I think they rotate the gallery. But yeah, my piece is very shapely. It's inspired by Kazimir Malevich, Russian constructivism. So it's all about, it's like a stage set. I build shapes by blocking shapes with other colors in front of them. So
Okay.
it's not really drawn, it's kind of constructed with strokes.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
and
it's all about illusion, so there's a kind of fake perspective and all that business going on.
yeah. And so we're talking about saving files. So in Quill, which is the like paint software for Oculus, there's I didn't get prompted to save, so I just forgot to save.
No, it discourages you from saving.
And then it just discarded my hour of hard work.
Oh, hour is nothing. How dare
dude.
you complain about your hour?
It was my first thing though.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was getting so nauseous. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, and that was not a professional. That was like a personal exploration.
Well, I thought it was pretty professional. I don't know.
Oh, like it wasn't for a client. It was because I was.
I see. I
trying to
thought
learn.
you two were talking about our banter.
Oh, no.
Right. I mean, it's not about pajamas, so that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
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 I think pajamas are important.
They're
Professionally.
Nice. I think they're important too.
Like I conduct a lot of my work from the comforts of my bed. I think pretty much every single art director I've worked with at New York Times have seen the color of my bedclothes.
Oh.
Because of the time difference.
Wait, because
I've slept with them. No. Because obviously not. Because I would wake up and it's already middle of the day in New York, right? And I would get the assignment on my phone. And I have to immediately sketch something.
Okay.
So I would sketch it in my notebook
Oh,
and I
you
would
take
take a
a
picture
picture.
from my phone.
Nice.
And I have those very nice Muji bedcloths. So today's theme is how much I like Muji.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, your notebook is from Muji.
My note, yeah.
Yeah.
So the bedclothes are actually quite nice. They're very stripy, but it's a nice sort of quiet pattern that provides a excellent backdrop.
Oh, cool.
So it's good to have your white paper against that. And I don't specify that it's my bedclothes.
Why do you need a backdrop? Why can't you just take a picture of the white?
It just looks a little nicer than
It's like an Instagram
my
photo.
terrible. Yeah. It looks kind of charming.
Yeah. So Holly has a really interesting question. She asks, and this is kind of related to what we've talked about in the previous days, but she asks, what advice would you give your 12-year-old self, your 50-year-old self?
My 50-year-old, I haven't met him.
Well, your future self.
To my 50-year-old self, I hope you make it.
Okay.
That's kind of good enough.
You make it.
If I'm alive and if I can function on my own without assistance, then well done. That's all I
You
would
made
say
it.
to him.
Yeah.
To my 12-year-old self, I would say, "What are you doing, you idiot?
Oh, really?
Stop doing that and do
Well,
something
you're a
else."
child.
Yeah, but I don't like him very much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was a very stupid child. It's not self-loathing or anything. It's just sober assessment. I think, well, children are not really meant to be particularly smart. And I was kind of exceptionally idiotic.
Exceptionally idiotic.
Well, people always assume that I was a smart-ass child and I was reading books and all that. But I was just lying in bed all day doing nothing, which is pretty close to what I'm doing now.
I mean, what's wrong with that?
Yeah,
Like-
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess it sort of developed my daydreamy personality. And now I just found a way to make a living from it.
Yeah,
Fascinating.
Axel says his English is terrible. Can he ask in German?
My English is there?
No.
Oh,
He's Axel's. And yeah, you could, I mean,
How dare you?
maybe this could be a cool chat feature. Maybe you could ask in German, and if there's any German speakers.
Yeah, definitely ask
can
in German,
translate.
and I will have no idea what you said. And then I'll reply in German.
Timothy
do you know
says,
German?
Your future child will be awesome. If you
My
have,
future
If
child?
you have a child, yeah.
Okay.
No, I don't speak
an
German. I only speak
interesting
Chinese.
remark to make. I don't know how to react to that.
Is there anyone from China or like Asia tuning in? It will be very, very late. It'll be like midnight in that area.
Do you want the question in Chinese?
That'd be cool, but I probably wouldn't be able to read.
Yeah. Is there anyone from Russia? Because I could read that and translate it to myself. Wrong, and I can translate it. I can just make something up.
Oh, Jason Lee from Hong Kong.
Okay.
Hey, Jason.
Your namesake,
Yeah, fellow Lee.
fellow Lee.
Fellow Lee.
Well, perhaps Jason should steer this conversation.
I actually know Jason. He's my friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Small world.
I'm not uneasily laughing. So Wayne says, I'm literally tuned in every day to listen to Alice uneasily laughing to Roman's depressing answers.
I don't think it's depressing.
I'm not uneasily
Right?
laughing. I genuinely think this is hilarious.
yeah.
And we've like,
Am I? I don't think I'm depressing.
we've done this kind of like interviewee live stream thing before, like with each other.
Yeah.
So
Well, it was so bad that they didn't post it.
no,
Right.
no, it just took too long to edit.
Right.
But
Well, I was kind of particularly depressed on that day, so
Oh. you were really nice. You came to our studio
Was
for
I?
like 3 hours. Yeah.
yeah. All right. If you say
So
so.
I'm not uneasily laughing. I just want to explicitly state that I'm like
You're
easily
perfectly confident.
uneasily laughing.
You're easily laughing.
You know, as in not uneasily.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Wow, cool. Looks like there's some cool German conversation going on
Oh,
with a
no.
reference to Kyle Webster brushes, but I'm not quite sure what it
Could
is.
be something really offensive, and we wouldn't know.
That's true. Yeah. Hi, Suzanne from the Netherlands. So just like we have in the previous 2 days, in the middle of the show, we'll be giving away 3 posters created on Adobe Live by 3 other amazing artists, Rob Zilla, Jing Wei, and Christine Heron. So we'll be doing that in about half an hour. So definitely tune in for a chance to win one of these awesome posters. Okay, Axel was asking in German where to get more brushes. And so I think people have been responding in German about DeviantArt and Kyle's brushes, which is very cool and helpful.
Interesting.
Oh, he wants to know where you get your brushes.
Where I get my brush?
Yeah.
Well, these are not my brushes.
Yes.
I'm stealing them from this computer, which Adobe kindly provided for me. As for my own work, I use Kyle's brushes, which I modify quite a bit until they don't look like Kyle's brushes. The reason for that is not because I don't like them or anything like this. It's just because that everyone uses them nowadays. So I don't want to be like everyone else.
Oh.
I need to be sassy. And the other source is my friend, who just sent them to me once, and I also modified them quite a bit. His brushes are really weird. I don't know how he uses them, but he's sort of a digital painter. So it's very different from my style, and they don't work for me at all. But they provide good foundations, and then I kind of mix and change them quite a lot. And of course, probably most of my non-commercial work is actually drawn on paper.
Oh, cool.
And then I would use Photoshop to edit things, to change them around and whatever. But not so much to draw from scratch.
Yeah.
You know, like that Portrait of the Artist cover that is probably my most well-known thing right now.
What? Can you repeat that?
The Portrait of the Artist as a young man cover I did for Penguin.
Okay.
You know, the one with the colors and everything. Anyway, I'll show you later.
Oh, is it the guy standing in?
Yeah,
It's like
that one.
waves of color.
Yes.
Cool.
So the waves of color, combination of black ink and Photoshop digital. Yeah.
Cool. So you can check that out on Roman's website,
Yeah, or
just
in
Googling
the
Roman
bookstore
Portrait
or
of a Young
whatever.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Portrait of the Artist. Portrait of the Artist.
Artist.
What a long title. As a Young Man by
Oh.
James Joyce.
So a lot of really interesting conversation in the chat about brushes.
Hmm. What are they saying?
They're just sharing what people like to use,
Yeah.
how they modify. I also started recently using Sid Wheeler's brushes.
Never heard.
Oh, her brushes are really cool. She has a Patreon, so if you subscribe to her Patreon,
Oh, is it? I think I know who you're talking about.
yeah.
The brushy person.
And for Inktober, she created a lot. Like for each month, she always has like new brushes.
Uh-huh.
And so this past month was Inktober, and she did.
What, she crafted brushes?
Yeah, she made like 40.
What do you mean
ink brushes.
physical brushes?
No, like digital Photoshop brushes.
Well, that's not ink, is it?
Like ink inspired brushes for digital ink.
That-
I know.
That's cheating. How dare? Anyway, I'm joking.
Yeah, Matthias. Yes, Roman has a Patreon as well with cool zines.
Oh yeah, thanks for bringing this up.
Yes.
I have a Patreon,
Yeah.
which
And,
you should all contribute to.
And the Adobe Live team just posted a link to your website to the Portrait of an Artist as a Young Man.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Maybe they can also post the link to my Patreon, so people can give me money. Hope I'm not too subtle about this.
So I think it's really cool to bring back to
yeah,
what
I
you're
got
working
kind of distracted, so
on. Yeah.
I think I made a little king.
So are you, when you're drawing this, what is your like thinking behind it? Like, are you?
Well,
trying
mainly
to-
I'm just chatting to you and doodling instead of paying attention to what I'm doing.
Cool.
But yeah, my thinking is pretty straightforward. It's the same as I would be painting with gouache or something like this.
Yeah.
So
Well, I do really like the painterly effect that you have when you've been erasing the background and then.
yeah, I always make
Like
sure
filling
that
it in?
something is left. Because it's that whole idea of keeping the brushstrokes going. No, well, I have a project now that I've been painting for an obscene amount of time. Because no one should do a painted comic. It's a stupid idea.
Okay.
But I decided to do it anyway, just to prove myself wrong. So far I haven't. I'm kind of suffering quite a lot from that project. But the inspiration for that, I was listening to an interview with the translators of Cesar Aira, who's an Argentinian writer I really like.
Okay.
And one of them said, well, what's great about him is that he's like one of these painters who let you see the brushstrokes. And I thought, yeah, so if I'm actually a visual artist, then I should let people see my brushstrokes, like literal brushstrokes. So I started painting, and I'm not a painter at all, and I don't even know how to properly paint, and
Yeah,
don't particularly
same.
want to.
Oh.
Well, it's not really my thing.
By the way, what is that shortcut that you're doing right now to pull up the brush
This?
tab? Yeah.
Oh, just right click.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So I thought, well, I'll paint in a way that really kind of exposes the process. You know, for the cover of World from the World's End by John Walsh, I did this whole painting, and I would just show the sketch would just bleed through layers of paint, and I would have bits of paint where it's completely unfinished.
Mm.
You know. And so I also went to this art show, and I think it was the Met, and it was about last summer, when I was in New York, and it was a show about the unfinished paintings.
Mm.
Some of it kind of deliberately unfinished, like all the Picasso business, and some of it were unfinished because the artist died.
I see.
And I thought, well, it would be really cool to build a style on the basis of unfinishedness. So that's what I've been working for the last 2 years, and it's incredibly hard to kind of know when to stop, so it looks unfinished in a cool way rather than just
Right.
looking like you couldn't be bothered. You know?
Or maybe you didn't know how. Yeah.
Yeah, so like to make it look deliberate.
Intentional.
And so far in that project, you know, there are some pages when I look at them, I think, wow, how did I make this? This is better than what I usually do. And some of them I just look at and they make me unwell. So it's been a difficult journey.
It's cool. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait to be done with it in 100 years probably.
So, some questions from the chat.
Mhm.
To answer some questions from the chat, Roman is working with a self-imposed restraint/challenge to himself.
Oh, it's Alice imposed.
It is
restraint.
me.
You came up with it.
No, I suggested it. It was not
You
like
imposed it.
I did not impose anything.
Yeah. I had no say in this.
A voluntary.
Suffering for art.
Roman is has opted into
Yeah, sure.
this challenge of not using the eraser tool and painting all on one layer.
Yeah.
And-
Well, otherwise it would have been impossible if it's not one layer. It's actually, it helps to have it
That's
on
true.
one layer.
That's true. If
Yeah.
you can't erase, yeah. And actually, Danita asked a really interesting question.
Mhm.
She asks, I really wish someone would teach the interface and what it does for older and not completely computer literate people so they can participate also. So, yeah,
Well, it would take a while right now.
yeah, but I think actually what you're doing right now is kind of relevant because
Yeah, it's very simple. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah.
Ramon's taking like a really simplified approach. Like his main tools, I would say, are the brush tool,
Yeah.
which is just B because you can't use the eraser,
Right.
and
And that's it.
color picker, and then
Color picker is out or option. And I think that's it.
yeah, and then something cool that you're doing also is, I mean, you're not really even adjusting like the opacity of the brush or anything.
No.
Yeah, so you're just sticking to like two brushes.
2 brushes, one hard, one soft.
Yeah. And a lot of the things that you're seeing him do right now are like pretty simple keyboard shortcuts. Like he rotates the canvas, that's just R.
Mhm.
And then he's also cutting out, like sometimes he needs to adjust like the angle of something. So he's using L to select like the body, for example, and then like
Right.
shift it around, and then he can color in the parts that he accidentally cut out. So
Yeah, I haven't been using it lately, but you can.
yeah, so it's pretty interesting how like if you simplify or if you like impose this like challenge to yourself, it's actually a much more simple application of Photoshop.
Well, I do that for everything, in fact. I definitely always have a very simplified approach to everything I do. I try to cut down the number of variables, so to speak. So if I do ink work, I would just pick whatever brush is next to me,
Yeah.
you know, and just make that happen. You know, I have this very straightforward approach. So if you're an artist, you just shut up and make art. Well, you don't have to shut up. Obviously, I'm very good at not shutting up. So, but you don't, you know, sit around looking for the perfect tool or something like this. You can just take a stick and do something with it.
Take a stick, yeah.
Take a stick,
Yeah.
literally. You can draw with a stick and ink. Totally doable.
Yeah.
So people do tend to obsess about brushes and whatnot, and I am no exception. When I was younger, especially, but nowadays I'm much more relaxed. I think once you develop a little bit of skill, you realize that all this stuff doesn't really matter, and it's more about the application and the thought that you put into this.
Yeah, actually, so we actually, you and I, we actually met like last year, around this time last year, because we were doing like a similar kind of live streamy type thing. But this was like a personal, like my friend at my studio mate and I wanted to initiate this.
Right.
So one thing that I remember that you said was, I asked you a question that was kind of like this, like, how do you just like, I don't know, how do you move forward? And then you were like, you just have to have like confidence or something.
Did I say that?
Yeah, you're like.
Doesn't sound like something I would say.
No, you were like. At this point, I feel like it's I earned it or something.
Oh.
And I was like, cool.
Yeah.
And
that also doesn't sound like.
No, you did say.
But
that.
I have very little control over the things that come out of my mouth.
We have it recording.
Oh God.
An unpublished recording. So.
Let it stay this way.
No, but since then that actually really stuck
myself
with me because I was like, oh, cool. Like you just have to have confidence and you kind of just
well,
have to, like,
confidence
earn it.
I guess is an interesting question because actually I guess I do have confidence, and at some point I woke up and I thought, hello, what's this? It's confidence. Where did it come from? Could it possibly want? Because well, it's true. When I was starting out, I would do things that people liked, and I thought they were terrible, and then I kind of stopped doing things that I think are terrible, and people stopped liking things that I do quite as much, which is a pretty strange dynamic, I find. But maybe people felt sympathy for me. I'm not sure, but. Yeah, there was a point where I would look at my things and go, oh, this is better than what I usually do. Or I would ask myself, how the hell did you do this? Like, there are some pages in Jacob Letters I have no idea how I did. And I don't think I can do that again, you know?
Yeah.
So I think in terms of confidence, it is kind of it's not a matter of telling yourself that you're doing well and blah, 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 and all that. Self-motivational business. I think it's just a matter of perseverance and having faith that it will happen, and it's more just like a frisson. You just feel it. You know that this happened. So it's not about standing in front of the mirror and talking to yourself in Dale Carnegie fashion, but you know. So I think a lot of writers talk about that in interviews. They would say, well, it's like the book writes itself. And I think it's the same for me, and it's the same with writing, because it used to be that writing was incredibly difficult for me, especially having second language and writing in second language, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but it used to be that I would just struggle over every sentence. And now it's simply a matter of waiting for that voice to come and writing it down. But, you know, what is it? Is it talent? No, it's not. Again, I'm not being self-deprecating. I don't really think it is talent. I think it's because I've read insane number of books over those years and obsessively analyzed everything.
Yeah.
So I've kind of cannibalized all these voices of other writers. And now they have this, it's like Legion from Castlevania.
Okay.
You know, that monster with a bunch of body parts.
No, I don't know.
Anyway, it's from an old video game. So, and then I have this sort of monster made out of Joyce and Nabokov and whatever. And they're telling me how to write. So I'm not really doing anything. It's them.
Yeah, that's
you
cool.
know? And it's the same with art, obviously, or any artistic practice. It's all about kind of working like a vampire, in a way.
Okay.
I
feel that. I feel like I'm working like a vampire right now.
Yeah.
like in my life.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Picasso is like the biggest vampire. 'Cause he had no style at all.
Oh.
He stole.
Oh.
He stole from everyone.
I thought you meant like staying up really late.
Oh no. Well, maybe.
I am working like a
No.
vampire.
No, I mean,
No, people are saying that I threatened you to do
Threaten?
this, like constraint. That's not true.
no, I like constraints.
I didn't
And
threaten
I like,
anyone.
I like uncomfortable things, obviously, and making people uncomfortable on the internet.
Oh yeah.
So, it's all
People are
good.
saying that this is the Ramon content I came for, vampire stories.
Oh yeah, vampire stories. Do you have you met a vampire?
No, but
What am I saying?
have you met a vampire?
Not literally.
I do
don't-
believe in
Do you,
like
do you think they exist?
no, but I do totally believe in like spiritual stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
what kind of spiritual stuff?
like doing hexes.
Hexes.
Yeah. But it's
So
hard to
you've
explain, so
done
I actually don't
hex
really
induction.
really want to get into that right now. It's not
Yeah.
spooky.
You don't think it's relevant to?
Yeah. So anyway, anyway, so like Adobe Live, the team is saying in the chat, we've got an hour left until we choose a winner for 1 year of Creative Cloud subscription. So the theme of the day is Crown. And so you can find more info in the contest tab, which is next to the chat tab. And if you're just joining us now, basically it's using Photoshop or Illustrator CC and then drawing an illustration around the theme of Crown, and then share a link to your artwork to the link at bit.ly/submitadobe. If you post it in the chat, that doesn't count as an official entry. You'll have to resubmit it through the link. So you can find that and all that info in the contest tab. And then in about 20 minutes, we're going to do a random giveaway for 3 posters created on Adobe Live by Robzilla, Jing Wei, and Christine Heron. And we're going to randomly give them away to someone who's active in the chat. So keep that in mind too.
Yes. All right. Well, I think I'm done with this one. So simple.
Cool.
Maybe I should do another one. Maybe it'll be
Yeah.
2 little things.
Yeah.
This looks like my. Have you played Dark Souls?
No.
You know,
Some people are saying it reminds them of Harry Potter.
Oh, interesting. Well, anyway, my studio mates, they got a PS4 now. I never really play games.
You mean the Notion people?
Yeah, and
Oh,
I
cool.
got obsessed with this video game, and it's terrible because I'm sinking dozens of hours into it. I'm not getting anything done. Well, as I said, like the good thing is that the window is right against the screen, so I can't play it during the day.
The window is next to the screen?
No, the window is on the other side of the room, so
Okay.
the glare is so intense.
Oh, okay.
And also those games are very, very dark.
Ah.
You know, the hints in the name.
Ah.
So that's good. Otherwise, I'd get absolutely nothing done.
Yeah.
Why is it not working?
So you're going to be starting on a second illustration.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. What should I do here?
Cool. And good morning, Rashi, and to everyone who is joining us in the chat.
Could be a scene.
Could be a scene.
Maybe I can do the opposite of what we usually do, is making a sketch and whatever. And just start with colors. Pick a color scheme. And then see if it suggests something, you know?
Yeah. Hi to Martin from Belgium.
Hello, Martin.
Hello.
Belgium. Have you been to Belgium?
No, have you?
No. End of conversation.
Suzanne says thank you for showing the tips and examples. I will go try them out now. Cool.
You're welcome, Suzanne.
Sweet.
Some really weird colors. Do you do any kind of airbrushy stuff? Or
Not
do
really.
you prefer also sharp things?
I like brushy things.
Well, I think we both use very hard lines most of the time.
yeah.
Oh, this looks like two people lying.
But something I'm doing a lot more of in one of my projects is a lot of like painting, which is like very new to me.
Right.
Kind of 2.5D, you know.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm not actually doing any 3D modeling, but like straight up painting. I have done that personally a lot, but I have not done that a lot professionally, so
Yeah.
it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think everything depends on temperament. Yeah. So I'm incredibly impatient, as you can probably see. It's easier for me to make two quick drawings like this than to do one nice polished things. Because I lose interest pretty much immediately. Which is not the reason why I started doing this whole kind of unfinished style and developing it.
Yeah.
Because I just couldn't be bothered to do something rendered. I think pretty much every style that I've developed has been more or less influenced by my inability to stay concentrated on something.
I just did for the first time. I did actual like client work on an iPad yesterday because I didn't want to sit at my desk.
Oh yeah.
And I was just
Were you
lying
in bed?
Yeah, I was lying in bed.
Were you wearing pajamas?
Yes, I was wearing pajamas.
What kind of pajamas?
It's just like sweatpants.
Oh,
like
okay.
a sweater.
Those are not real pajamas, I guess.
They're like comfy. I mean, I don't wear them
Right.
for anything else. But yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah, I
feel like I
like
was-
doing that a lot. It feels
yeah.
like you're actually
Luxurious.
getting something out of the whole freelance deal, you know? It's like, they can't wear pants, we can. So,
Yeah. Eileen asks, who here sketches every day? Totally. I guess I do sketch as part of my job every day.
Well, sketch you mean for clients?
I mean, in some way or another, I'll either be doodling or...
Are you a doodler?
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to find a day where I'm just...
Huh.
If I'm like trying to take the day off or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely not that.
Herbert says, I put on socks every day. That's true. I like wearing socks.
Well done.
Yeah.
Hope you're wearing socks right now.
I am. Because I'm wearing...
I mean, Herbert.
Oh.
I'm sure you are. I don't doubt your integrity.
Well, it is cold here, you know?
Yeah, it is.
It's raining.
Although it's getting kind of warmer. A bit summery.
What?
Yeah, there was sunshine outside. Do you see that?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think
I
it's
think
gotten
it's
colder this
27 degrees today.
Celsius.
Celsius.
Yeah.
The only proper measurement.
How often do you get back to Russia?
About once a year or so.
Okay. Do you usually go for a while because it's like further away?
Yeah, and I have insane jet lags.
Same.
Yeah.
I mean, for China.
Oh my god, it's so bad.
Yeah.
Well, I also suffer from insomnia my entire life.
Oh, okay.
So even when I'm not there, I still can't sleep. When I'm there, it's just awful.
How do you deal with insomnia?
I don't. I think that's what's gonna kill me probably. But yeah, I mean, I wake up in the middle of the night very often, and it's this situation when you can't really get up and start working or whatever.
Yeah.
But also you can't go back to sleep.
I had that this summer. Yeah.
It's so bad.
It was really
I
annoying.
usually, like, if I get a normal sleep once a week, that's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Do you take naps?
Well, I meditate. I
Right,
can't take naps, but it certainly influences my work quite a lot. That.
Yes, Adam asks in the chat, have you done meditation, Roman?
Yeah. We
Yes.
talked about it yesterday, right?
Yeah, you were talking about the void.
The void. Okay.
I asked you if
Oh
you
yeah.
did.
Well, right.
I asked
I
you
think
if you used any
it's
apps.
the idea of silence.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm really for.
Purist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there are many forms of meditation. I'm not saying that what I'm doing is more legit or whatever.
Totally.
Obviously
Well, there's like active meditation too.
not. Right.
Um,
Yeah, I don't know how that works, but I can imagine it can be very good.
Yeah, I used to do that when I was like running and stuff.
Oh, okay.
It's like very
Yeah, makes sense.
meditative. Yeah, so Chelsea's asking what brushes are being used. So I think
Well, it's called. I can't read this.
it's Chinese.
Yeah.
I can only
You know,
read
I think it's this
character.
one, so I changed it, and somehow it became Chinese.
Okay.
I
The
don't
one
know.
character I can read is draw.
Wait.
so-
Anyway, I think
not
it's
helpful.
called Paint Style Brush 1,
Okay.
and you can probably find it in Photoshop.
But if you were to describe it, how would you describe it? It's kind of like a fluffy,
It's a
soft brush.
painterly sort of brushy thing.
You got that?
It's good. Good
It's a painterly
description.
brushy
Yeah,
thing.
painted brushy thing. I don't know. I've never seen it before. And you do get attached to certain brushes, I find. And I think that's not necessarily a great thing.
Yeah, I
so
agree.
it's sometimes good to just pick something completely off.
Yeah. And if anything,
roll with
it changes the way you see.
Oh, for sure.
you're drawing.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'll even like so I have a Cintiq as well, which is what Rowan is drawing on the tablet. So and normally like you're drawing on the Cintiq, but sometimes I'll like do it so it mirrors my computer, and then I'll be like drawing on my computer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, just seeing it through a
That's very
different
clever. Yeah. I think that's a great idea.
Oh, so as you can see, it's a Cintiq.
Hello.
Hello. Hey. Oh, we've got the art director guide too. This dude.
He's useful when we have nothing to say.
Just trust me.
Yeah.
I'm an artist.
He is useful.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good to fill the void.
Fill the void? Is it necessary? I don't know. Sometimes the void is nice.
Yeah, well, it's hard. When I first started meditating, just the idea of sitting and doing nothing for 20 minutes was really difficult.
It is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is
Because
really.
we're not accustomed to that. And
Totally.
we live in this very militaristic culture where we value the idea of business a little too much, I believe.
Do you feel like what you're doing right now, like how you're just painting, without like a sketch or like a thing,
Mhm.
do you feel like that's meditative?
Oh, I like how you're trying to circle it back to the actual art discussion. Very cunning. But yeah, I guess it is a bit. Because it's sort of mindless at the same time. My brain is not completely disconnected, I imagine.
For sure. You
Some
could think
part
about
of it
other
is
things.
active.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely. I imagine some people can really
It's like
enjoy
flowing,
that. Yeah.
Flow
yeah.
state.
Well, a lot of people. My studio mate, who is not an artist, he just writes Chinese letters in
What?
semi-calligraphic
What?
way.
Who's your studio mate?
Well, Ivan.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so he would just do this very,
That's so cool.
it's not sort of hardcore calligraphy, but
What am I wearing?
he's quite good at it, and he's only doing it for himself, and then he would just throw away the paper, or usually I would throw it away.
I think
it's my
Chinese
paper.
calligraphy is really hard.
Oh yeah,
There's so many
but it's
aspects.
I think it's the whole discipline is pretty fascinating
Yeah, yeah,
as a discipline.
yeah.
The whole idea that you don't get to use ink at first.
Oh, you
So they
don't?
give you a barrel of water and you have to deplete it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I think that's really great. So what I would do when I was an aspiring young person, believe it or not, I would have this brush pan where you can fill it with ink. So I would fill it with a mixture of water and ink. And this way I would draw over the same page in the sketchbook just 20 times until you absolutely cannot see what's going on. And this way you feel less precious about what you've done.
That's a cool tip.
Yeah, yeah. And it's more about just the practice and this very, I guess, impersonal application of your
Yeah.
skill.
I really like what this is turning into as a person. It's cool.
Yeah, sometimes it makes sense to talk about nonsense.
Yeah.
All of that circles
I mean,
back into art.
I think meditation is really a really awesome and powerful thing. That is hard to get
Everyone
into
should do it.
because there's a high barrier.
Well, there's a kind of a societal stigma about it nowadays.
Oh yeah.
Maybe less so, of course, and certainly less so in places like San Francisco.
For sure.
But you know, my parents think it's a bit weird.
Oh, okay. My friend described it. We just meditated, like together, which is actually really cool.
Yeah, if you
but
do it with someone, it's the best.
He described it as brushing your teeth, but for your brain.
Yeah, that's a very good.
I was like, oh, that's
or kind of recharging your battery. People say.
Yeah, totally.
Hygienic acts. Yeah, but you know, my work is very much like if you read my books, they're all kind of crazy.
Oh, okay.
And maybe people describe them as sort of challenging or difficult or whatever, but they're all obsessed with very boring things, pigeons and municipalities and rent. So I have this obsession. I have a very tangible obsession with tedium.
Tedium, okay.
Yeah, and I think if you can find something interesting to say about pigeons and pajamas, that's more impressive than you can find something interesting to say about, you know, the world and wars and humanity. Because we all know what that's like, more or less. But if you can burrow into the most insignificant nonsense, yeah, and
what
find something
quote?
profound in that.
In the something is the.
I don't know. Oh, in the right. I see where you're going for. Actually, I don't remember. Well, you know, Georges Perec had this idea. He called it the infraordinary, and it's things that are so ordinary that we just take them completely for granted and we don't pay any attention to them. And then if we examine them up close, then they actually reveal a whole world of possibilities. Or the Hungarian writer Laszlo Krasznahorkai, in his novel War and War, I think one of the characters is described as examining reality to the point of insanity, or something like this. Sort of burrowing so deep, then the minuscule actually expands into a whole universe. Because, you know, the amount of detail we encounter daily life just walking around is so vast that no matter how long you live, you will never exhaust just one street.
Yeah.
So why even bother going? You know, well, of course, it's great to travel, but I'm saying that you can stay confined to the same place and find something new in every day and find inspiration for your work.
Yeah, I think you can just find different types of new.
Oh yeah.
When you meet like really different people.
Well, I think a life of just relentless excitement is actually kind of difficult for the artist.
Oh, okay.
Because then your senses are dulled. Yeah.
And it's also hard because it's hard to find an ergonomic setup if you travel a lot.
Yeah, on a more pragmatic note.
Yeah, when you
with an iPad, it's easier, I suppose.
I mean, like so many places. I just have started noticing this after being really cautious about carpal tunnel and tendinitis, which is what we've been talking about yesterday too. But like so many places, the chair to table height ratio is like so bad. The chairs are so low
right.
and the tables are so high, so it's like really bad for your.
Yeah, absolutely.
Examine reality to the point of insanity, as highlighted by Rami. Yes.
That's what?
As highlighted by Rami in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Yes, indeed. So to answer your question, Marcel, there will be a different winner for the main contest to win a Creative Cloud subscription each day. And then, so I see you're thinking about speed drawing something, and you totally should. You've got about, 45 minutes to submit. And then in just a couple minutes, we're going to do a random giveaway for 3 posters created on Adobe Live. These 3 posters here. So that's Robzilla, Jing Wei, and Christine Heron. So we're going to get to that soon. So actually, why don't we just dive into that?
Are we going to do the whole question business again?
We could do a question. We can also ask them a random question about themselves. Like, one thing we
what can we select like an amusing answer rather than an interesting one?
What?
I don't know. What kind of question about themselves? What do you mean?
Like where are you from? Like where are you?
Well, how do we judge that?
Oh, so
it's
it
random.
would just randomly select
okay,
someone,
fair enough.
Not based on.
Okay. Let's ask them color of their pajamas.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Why don't so? to enter the giveaway, you'll just need to be active in the chat.
Yeah.
And please input where you're from and also the color of your pajamas.
And if you don't have pajamas, you can lie, and we'll have no way of knowing.
And you can say the color that you want your pajamas to be.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Aspirations.
Aspirations are good.
This is
Wow, cool. A lot of cool colors. Teal and gray,
Nice.
gray, navy blue,
Blue. What do you mean maybe blue?
navy blue.
Oh, I said maybe blue. So
Pink.
Depends on what my butler prepares for me today.
San Francisco, black. Hey, from San Francisco. Red pajamas in San Diego. I'm from China. I live in the U.S. now. Gray and white. SF Bay Area. Wow.
Gray and white, that's a good combination.
San Jose would love some tie-dye pajamas.
Tie-dye.
Oakland, stripy blue. Belgium, blue pajamas. Burgundy.
Maybe we can do a social experiment and find out
The
what are the
common-
predominant pajama colors in different parts of the world.
Yeah.
Um,
Amongst the audience that, amongst Adobe
well, yeah.
Live
Right.
audience. Yeah.
I mean, it's a start. So if any sociologists are listening,
If any pajama sociologists.
hit me up.
What colors pajamas do you want to get if you were just in Muji?
Me?
Yeah.
What
would you be like, ooh, those are the
like
ones?
this color.
Oh,
This sort of bluish.
yeah.
I think it's quite nice. Calming.
It is calming.
Yeah.
Is your room painted a specific color, or is it white?
No, it's painted whatever color my landlady painted it.
Oh, the landlord. I think you were telling me about your landlady last year. Is it the same?
Was
one?
it? Yeah, it's the same. It's the same landlady.
Cool.
Yeah. My life has not improved in the slightest.
My pajamas are black, and it's like covered in teddy bears, like
Wow.
a teddy bear pattern.
That's
It's really comfy.
So kind of gossy,
It
but
feels
also
too
cute.
designed.
Excuse me. Wow, there's a ghost in the machine.
Goes to the machine.
Scary.
Awesome. So we are just about to select a winner. Congratulations to Rajinder Gill.
Great name.
You win all 3 prints.
Hmm.
And thank you everyone else for sharing both your pajama color, which is actually quite personal. I mean,
Yeah.
who
It's pretty brave. Oh my god, I think
mm,
let's put him away.
think bigger, but keep it simple.
I mean, yeah.
What next?
And also thanks for sharing where you're from. It's really cool to see people tuning in from all over. So
So I guess this is a shirt now.
cool, yeah. Oh, and that's a chair. Cool.
Yeah,
and then you made
I'm
a
just,
little shadow.
well, I'm making just random shapes and then seeing what they kind of look like.
For real.
And as it often happens, it's usually a person sitting and doing nothing in my work. Seems to be a recurrent motif. You might agree with that or not. I think it's much harder to do someone doing not much. So I think it's harder to draw someone walking down the street in a boring way than to draw someone just dashing
Action shot.
action shot. Yeah,
Yeah.
right? There's so much
Maybe.
subtlety.
Yeah, totally.
It's so easy to make it kind of awkward and boring.
Maybe it just is like the kind of artwork that you want to make.
Yeah, I think it's
Like
just
what you wanna capture.
technically it's kind of a challenge.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so to answer your question, Samia, the theme today is Crown, and you can find this info in the contest tab, which is to the right of the chat tab that you're in right now. So, basically download and use Photoshop or Illustrator, CC 2018, and then draw an illustration based on the theme of Crown, as Roman had been doing previously.
Here.
Here it is, the crown.
Maybe there'll be a crown here. I
Oh
don't know.
well,
We'll
you
find out.
you can't see it, but like this crown, like Corey Brickley's crown, and then share a link to your artwork in the form at bit.ly/submitadobe. Yeah, and to answer your question, Alex, we'll definitely be looking at some of the submissions so far. We're going to be doing it in batches, so probably in about 10 minutes or so, looking at the first batch. And if you could get those submissions in by like 10:45 Pacific time. So right now it's 10:06. So you've got about 39 minutes. And then we'll be selecting one around then. And if you're also just joining us, you can definitely feel free to participate in the chat. It's really easy. All you have to do is join Behance, and then that automatically creates like a chat, lets you join the chat. So join the conversation.
Join us. Anyway, I just went and got a new brush.
Cool beans.
It's called a roller brush.
Roller brush.
Yeah, so it'd be good.
So when you're like when you're setting up like the colors for this, are you thinking in terms of specific types of colors? Like, are you like, okay, I need a base color and then I need like a light color? And
Not
then
right now. I probably should, but
Just curious.
Yeah.
Well, because
Here I'm just doing whatever.
You've been working with a pretty like simplified palette,
Mm-hmm.
so I was just wondering.
Well,
if
this
you're
is
like,
a little more colorful than I would usually do.
oh, okay.
I guess. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of colorful things.
Colorful things.
But at the same time, well, again, it depends. I have done illustrations that are very bright. Well, like that Joyce cover is actually super saturated. But it was a challenge. You know, I went through many versions of that. And each time they went, oh no, it's too gloomy.
Really?
I go, well, come on, he's not known to be happy dude.
Come on.
And then for the Dubliners cover, they actually upped the saturation by 40%.
So do you get
Which-
annoyed when people?
Oh yeah, that was kind of horrible, to be honest. I still hold it against them.
Oh.
So yeah, if you guys are listening, I'm still angry. Because yeah, it upset the color balance. It's not about it being happier and me being against happiness or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not against happiness.
Yeah.
I just find it boring. But yeah, it upset the color balance, and that was a big issue. So if they really needed it, they could have asked.
And you would have just
Yeah.
done a better job.
Yeah, but of course in publishing it's quite a difficult situation because they're always under deadlines, and
Yeah.
they also often they do know better than you. So you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But you know, at the same time, people liked it.
I mean,
So
I think what you're saying is like they could
in
ask
the
you
end,
like.
well, yeah,
can
but
you
in the
up
end,
saturation?
my job is to please people,
Oh.
right? And then if they're happy, then I'm happy. So.
But you're angry.
Well, I think my feelings as an artist are kind of secondary to this.
Mm.
It doesn't really matter,
Cool.
you know.
Also, this is
What
a
a selfless guy.
reminder from the
I'm great.
admins to don't forget to save
You're right.
to all.
Oh yeah, let's save. Thanks, admin.
Saved. Thanks, admins.
I don't know. Well, do you feel that if a certain responsibility when you
For
do
sure.
work?
I mean, I think there's a difference actually if your name is on it.
Yeah,
Like if
that's
it
true.
says by Roman,
Yeah, if it's
and then
just
they
kind of
totally
some
changed
marketing, whatever.
then I'd be like, wait, that's not cool. 'cause
Yeah,
you, like,
yeah.
Totally,
You don't really own it, and it looks like you did it.
Yeah.
So if someone doesn't like it, then they'll blame you,
I think
and not the production person.
I think maybe in like a company branding context,
Yeah,
like if I'm making
For sure,
30 illustrations
it's
for
their business.
a tech
Yeah.
company, they can totally, and they should,
Yeah, yeah.
adjust it as they need for their brand.
Right.
Because it's not like Alice Lee's thing.
No, I'm on the same page
Yeah.
with you.
But if it's like, I don't know, I feel like more ownership if I,
Well, yeah, and
make
especially if
something
it's
and it
a
says-
writer that you care about, and it's a book cover, so
yeah.
it's
And
kind
if it
of a
says like
big
by
deal.
Roman, yeah.
Right. Well, what can you do? I suddenly became much more assertive after
The
that.
90s called and they want their jock shadows back.
Alrighty.
I think it's
All right,
me
buddy.
kind of wobbling a bit with my butt.
Uh,
Um, I do that. Do you kind of do
Yeah,
little
Johnny, what's wrong?
dancey things?
Someone said, "Oh no, what do we do? Dancing things?" I mean, I definitely. If you want to talk about weird habits
Yeah.
while we're
definitely
working, I totally like sing at the top of my lungs.
Oh, in the studio?
Yeah, and so this.
Brian reacts to that.
Well, actually, my
sing along?
studio mates, two of them work out of the studio on Mondays and Tuesdays.
Oh, okay. So that's your singing days.
It was my singing days, and then today I'm actually gonna work from home
Alright.
because I don't want to bother anyone, and I just feel like
You have to sing.
I gotta get in the groove. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I do that when no one's around. But
Don't you feel like you enjoy it so much more when you get to like
yeah.
do your weird thing, like sing or dance or whatever?
Oh, for sure. Well, I do little jiggy things when I'm
Jiggy
listening to some tight beats, as they say.
Tight
yeah.
beats. Yes, to answer your question, Rihanna. You
Rihanna
can-
is in.
Rihanna Khan.
Oh, okay.
You can
Not that one.
you can thank you for joining us, Rihanna. You can rewatch these on YouTube afterwards.
Yeah, I should, and you should study everything I say.
Yeah, and you should follow Ramon. You should follow both of us.
Then we have a script here, and this has been very carefully prepared. And you don't see the script, but we're reading from it. So
You went to
everything
get
we're
a
saying-
coffee and lost context of what we were saying. We're just talking about. Yes, for those who are just joining us right now, Roman is on his second illustration of the day, with our constraint, which is not using the eraser. So, and he's also painting all on one layer. So, quite a challenge, especially digitally. I think that's like one of the main
Well, no, I
Yeah.
think digital is probably easier, right?
to not erase.
Mm,
Well, I feel like one of the reasons why you
no,
would.
to do everything on one layer, 'cause you can pick the exact color.
Oh,
So
true.
if you do it, do you have that thing when you look for a color picker in real life?
No.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes I'm like, oh, I like that blue.
Yeah. Well, I feel like, ooh, I like that color. How
Actually-
do I take it?
I do Command U a lot.
You do command me.
Command U, no, Command plus U.
Oh,
Like
what
the
does
shortcut.
that do actually?
It pulls up. Just try it. It pulls up,
Ooh, I
This
didn't know
thingy?
that.
and
I do command M.
oh, cool.
I like
And-
curves.
Yeah, I usually only have a few colors on a layer, so I do that, and then I can just easily adjust the saturation
Right.
relative instead of like changing it with the color picker.
Yeah.
I do Command U. No, I
yeah,
don't.
I would
at
go
all.
to the beach or something,
Oh,
and I would go, oh, that's a nice color.
yeah, all
I
these
wish I could
grays.
take it.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I go to the beach and it's a sunny day. I don't go to the beach often, but and it's all sunny and gradienty, and I go, it's not very good, and I kind of want to art direct the sunset a bit, and I go, can you simplify it, or sometimes you get really disappointed with nature, and
Really?
yeah.
My dog really likes the beach.
Well, your dog probably has no conception of gradients or anything like that.
That's true.
Probably why the dog is happy.
She's kind of a interesting dog. She's not a typical dog. She's kind of like a cat, or like. So it's rare to
But
find.
it is technically a dog.
She is a dog.
You
So
sure?
so it is.
Have
But
you
it's,
checked?
I'm just saying it's rare for her to be like crazy happy about stuff.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
It's a moody dog.
So we've turned the art director off
Oh,
because
good.
he was contributing too
I
much
wish you could do that in real
to the
life.
conversation. I agree.
No,
Grievances. No, I don't agree.
I had some really good.
I
art
love
directors.
art dir- yeah.
Yeah, the best.
Yeah. no, but
Send them my way.
no, I'm.
I'd like
That
to
was really
fill
mean.
up a tub with art directors and just soak in it. But
Actually,
no, actually,
I
no,
feel I've worked with a lot of really awesome art directors.
Yeah, no.
And
Well, I was Alexandra from New York Times, who I think recently quit after many years. I learned from her so much, more than I learned in any school or educational.
yeah.
sort of,
Oh, I like this. Let's shout out the awesome art directors we've worked with.
Yeah, maybe
Um,
maybe who else?
I mean, I've
That's
been
it.
I've been working with Slack for some time. I really like.
Oh yeah, I like your drawings that you did for
Thanks.
Slack.
I mean, I really like working with them. They're always like,
I like
really
their design
encouraging.
sense. It's pretty tight.
yeah, they are encouraging of like experiments, doing weird things.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty ideal. Like,
And
I
the
feel
whole identity
supported.
is not, the usual boring tech stuff, which is
yeah,
nice.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
art
everyone
directors.
from New York Times is usually very talented, and many of them are artists themselves, which certainly helps.
Mm.
Because an art director's job is not just art directing; it's also communicating with the editor.
Yeah, being a good
And,
communicator.
yeah.
Being a good like project manager.
Yeah,
almost.
yeah.
Yeah.
And artists are not known to be particularly articulate.
Oh, really?
It's just me.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. Would you say they are?
Don't you kind
I
of
mean,
have to
well, kind of.
be?
But most of my friends are better with their drawings
Oh, you
than
mean, like,
with their
visually?
faces. Yeah.
Oh, you mean articulate as in like a good communicator
Yeah,
verbally?
Like
okay.
describing why you did something, all that business,
Sure.
which I think is really important. I
Presentation, yeah.
make my students explain their concepts, and they go, "Oh, well, I just done it."
Yeah,
and I
like-
go, "Well, you can't say that. You
Yeah.
have to explain why you did something, even if you don't understand it.
Totally.
And very often you don't understand it, and you have to figure out why you did something."
Yeah. So, on that note, on the note of art directing, we will be looking at our first few batches of illustrations right now. So we've got our first 6 or so under the theme of crown. So this first one is of a character in a crown with a red cape
And a bathrobe.
in the bathrobe.
Ready to go.
Conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. By Madison. Hey, Madison. We've been in the chat for the last few days too. Ooh, cool.
No. It's a conceptual crown.
Reinterpreting the crown.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like
Yeah.
that kind of crown.
Yeah, very nice. I wonder if the bird is alive. It was very still. One wonders. Oh, that's a cool style.
Cool. Yeah, kind of a blobby dude
Mm-hmm.
in a crown. Yeah,
With
like green.
What is he holding, I wonder?
Is that his
Oh,
hand?
it's a glove. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it's like a jar of water. You know that people,
Cersei Lannister.
people sleep with a hand in the jar of water.
People do that?
Yeah. I
What
don't
if you-
remember why,
But what if you knock it over?
well, that would be a disaster.
I just got a humidifier,
Oh, okay.
and it's pretty cool.
Mm.
Makes my room humid.
Yeah, I don't remember. Maybe they like to have their hand moist all the time.
But I don't know. That doesn't seem
No.
great. Like if you've been in a swimming
Well, we'll
pool.
have to Google it later.
Yeah,
Alright. So this is nice.
I agree, Johnny. We are introverts in the chat.
Yeah.
Cool. Cersei Lannister, Game of Thrones. Woohoo.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Crowns. Cool.
Many crowns.
Couple different crown options, and ooh, a really fleshed out
Wow.
Character.
Yeah, it's a lot of detail.
in a crown.
Oh,
Sweet.
that's Caitlin wrote. It's instant bedwetting.
Where? Oh,
So I
Why-
think that's the thing. Like it makes you wet yourself.
so this is the prank that people pull on each other.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not something-
I think that's probably it. It's not a habit.
It's not an opt-in.
unless you want to.
I wonder why that happens. Hand in
Yeah. Well, we
Because
should find out.
the connotation.
Interesting. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you guys for submitting. The contest ends in about 20 minutes, so please get your submissions in. If you need to find the detailed instructions, you can check that out at under the contest tab. But basically, the theme is crown, and as you can see, all of the submissions that we've gotten so far have been around this theme using Photoshop or Illustrator.
But you should maybe do it loosely. Like,
Yeah, it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
like overt, like a thing. It could be your own interpretation.
What is a crown anyway?
Yeah,
as they say.
we were talking about how the word crown has a lot of other words in it,
Right.
like
You can dissect the word.
crow, row,
Own.
own, ow, Now, cow.
Well, now you're re-engine.
Yeah.
Well, that one had a crow. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Was that the crow? That's
Yeah.
clever.
Uh,
Yes, Eric wants to know if we could get a link to both of our websites.
yes, take it. Bluebad.net is me. Blue as in I'm blue, and bad as in bed is where you sleep in pajamas. And you are?
I am byalicelee.com.
You can also find us on Instagram. I am Roman_M.
And I'm by Alice Lee.
Yeah.
What are you on Twitter?
I'm Blue Bad, but I'm not super professional in it.
Blue Bed? Oh, I like your tweets.
They're a bit,
And I'm by Alice Lee.
grumpy.
No, I actually really liked following your Inktober because your
sort of
captions
hated
were
that.
hilarious.
Yeah.
I know, I can definitely. Your captions were like, "Who came up with this prompt?" Oh, thank you, Hector. That's really nice of you to say.
Oh.
Cool.
Yeah, Alice is great. She, if it was just me, it would have been pretty bleak.
That'd be really funny. This is a really cool illustration.
Yeah, I don't mind it as much as I thought I would.
Well, it's really cool to see how you were able. You're kind of like sculpting it in a way.
Yeah.
out
I
of
guess that's. Well, and I've never really done this before, so maybe I should do this in my actual work.
It's really cool. Yeah, I hope you
Yeah.
post this.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't want to, it's okay. I'm not.
No, I'll post it if they give me the files. Maybe I can add a bit of.
I am
different
smiling
color.
a lot because it's funny and I'm not uneasily laughing, as was
know.
suggested by someone earlier.
Maybe you are.
I'm not. It's funny.
Yeah. Do you know the painting "Dinner by Lamplight" by Felix Volaton?
No.
Well, it's one of my favorite paintings.
By nightlight
Yeah.
or painting by daylight.
Dinner by Lamplight.
Lamplight. Got that totally wrong.
I've always been obsessed with it, and I think I've referenced it in every single book that I've done.
Oh wow.
And
Cool. I'm looking at it right now on my screen.
and it has a lamp, and that sort of scene has kind of recurred in things I do almost unconsciously.
Oh.
Probably not almost,
Wow,
but
yeah.
unconsciously. And yeah, for some reason, that painting, well, it's kind of autobiographical and it's about his family, as people have suggested. And to me, it's just one of the best portrayals of boredom. Because they're all so unhappy and bored. The guy is
Oh.
literally yawning.
Oh,
I
he
really like the
is.
girl's face.
I like her face
There's
too.
kind of an amateurish quality to it, and he was a pretty strange painter. Tried many different styles.
I like the food on the table.
Yeah. But the whole composition is just fantastic, I think.
Yeah. It's cool.
Gonna.
Family dinner.
Yeah, I think it's. He didn't have a particularly cozy family life. So, a lot of resentment.
I see.
Great for art. Yeah. And also, yeah, a little bit like maybe Seishi Hayashi. And,
So what you're doing right now is also really cool.
You're right. So I always like to go into curves by the end
Yeah.
and totally change the colors.
Wow. Okay.
Curves are great. I don't really fully understand how they work.
Okay.
And in a way, I don't really want to. Because I kind of like it to be a bit mysterious. Well, I do understand
is
this.
cool.
So if I go up, it gets more yellow. If I go down, it gets more blue.
Cool.
And,
And you're on the yellow, like, tab.
Right. You can do it through all curves, and you can kind of go into each individual color and adjust it.
That's cool.
But yeah, I like to just play around with it.
Yeah.
Maybe I can do the same for this guy.
Yeah.
Or I can just apply it.
That's really cool. And so how are you, so you're creating a adjustment layer.
So the beauty of adjustment layer is that you can switch it off or make it transparent or make it multiply or overlay or whatever you like. So in a way, it kind of presents too many opportunities.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's very easy to get lost in it.
You could get really granular.
Oh, you can spend hours, and I certainly have. If I do overlay, it'll be something like this, much
Oh.
sharper, which I kind of like.
Got it.
Yeah.
And the way you get to that is you
go
click
here.
the bottom.
Let's see what it's called. I don't really know.
It's like a circle with like half of it is filled.
It's called create new fill or adjustment layer.
Got it.
And you can make a solid color and it'll be just solid color. Or you can do this sort of business. Ba-dum-bum. Well, maybe it could be a bit darker.
Ah, moody.
Moody. But at the same time, I like the lightness of it.
Yeah. Do you guys use a lot of adjustment layers in your work? Feel free to say in the chat if this is something a technique that you guys do as well.
Yeah, and check it out. This is a crown.
Whoa! Worked it in.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was refashioned.
If you can explain it, it works.
Yeah. It's a metaphor, whatever. Symbol. Cool.
Bill is asking, painting in CMYK. Yes.
Are you?
That's the answer to that question.
Oh, okay.
Do you usually do CMYK or RGB?
Well, I think, aren't you supposed to do RGB for like screen stuff and then
Yeah, so the short answer is CMYK is better for print and RGB for web.
Like if you're doing editorial stuff, you do it in CMYK.
No, I use CMYK all the time.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's because I use pretty dull colors. And also, it's if you convert from CMYK to RGB, you're not really going to lose much. But if it's other way,
RGB to CMYK,
you can lose quite a lot.
Yeah.
So it's safer.
I see.
I mean, I always tell my students to use
Actually, a lot of
I don't tell them, but I suggest that. Yeah.
A couple of instances in the past where I've been printing stuff like on a high quality like Cyclé print. They've been asking.
Is that how you pronounce it? I never know.
I think so.
Okay.
Oh well. Let me know if that's not how you pronounce it. That's how I've heard it being pronounced. So then I.
Oh yeah. Well, you hear many things.
Yes. But those printers always call for RGB. So.
Oh well, that's possible.
I think
Cyclé is kind of weird.
You can make it work. You can. I think these things are fixable. Like it's not a disaster. It's not like drawing at like 72 DPI when you actually had to draw at 300 and then it's a disaster. Cause
absolutely.
Yeah.
So just use boring colors and then you'll be golden.
Words of wisdom.
I know.
So to answer your question, Liana, Crown indeed is our theme for the day. You can get the info in the contest tab and get those submissions in about 12-ish minutes. We're going to be closing the submission soon and then reviewing all of the submissions. And so far we've gotten some really cool ones. So if you want a chance to win 1 year of Creative Cloud subscription, which is super valuable. I mean, this is something like everyone I know uses. So
absolutely. Even if you're I do quite a lot of my work on paper, but you still need this to scan it in, adjust it, do all that business.
So this is you could get that for free for a year, which is nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And that's the whole like Creative Cloud, like all of
the whole of it.
Yeah, that's not just like Photoshop.
You got the entire team.
Entire team? Oh, the entire fleet. Yeah, the entire. Yeah. By the way, I really like it.
And the personnel too.
I really.
They'll come over and maybe dust your desk, or replenish your banana stock or whatever.
Also, I really like it when you've zoomed in on the painting. It's really cool to see all of your like textures and paint strokes. No, I think it's cool.
Well, this I think is a little too blurry, so I'm gonna try to adjust that a bit.
Yeah, cool.
Like this brush. Oh, this one's called Good Brush.
Good Brush.
Sounds
Yeah,
very confident.
I name all my brushes like weird things, like
I could give them silly names.
Lovely Brush. I had to export a bunch of them for
brush.
Someone I'm working with, and
oh no,
it was really hard because I'd be referencing like, all right, now pull up Lovely Brush number 2, and she'd be like, wait, what?
Yeah, my friend who sent me all these brushes that I've been using and modifying. He has very, very sweary names for his brushes that I shall not name.
Nice.
And
Yeah, we're
he's a very gentle person, but pretty explicit when it comes to naming his brushes. And I wonder where that comes from. But
maybe it's a form of affection.
Oh yeah, no, these are sort of affectionate, sweary things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I hesitate to bring up an example. Live.
So, getting a question from Leanna, asking about, the submissions and saying maybe the submissions at some point will help spark something. And I agree. We can.
Let's show them again, I guess.
Yeah. So let me quickly pull up. Okay. Yeah. So here is another submission. Wow.
Ooh,
really cool.
That's really great.
By Cosmic Nuggets. Great job using Photoshop. Tiny crown. Yeah.
That's crazy.
A cool creature.
Yeah.
Then we've got
that's great.
also like a two color multiply layer
Very nice.
setup, which is cool, by Luke. And
nice elaborate signature.
happy eggs, happy king and queen.
Oh,
So
that's sweet.
one of them is unhappy and one of them is really happy. Ooh, a mysterious king.
He's got the word king on his crown.
That's how you know.
So you know what, yeah.
By Andre. Great job.
Very nice.
Ooh, cool. Hey, this kind of reminds me of the Cersei one.
Update? Yeah.
Or at least using similar brush and
Right.
color
Style.
yeah.
Sure.
Sweet. We've got a king on a toilet and perhaps a bathrobe by Brad.
Yeah, I guess it's like a in Ulysses. Anyway, I should stop talking about.
No, feel free.
They're anyway. I don't want to go on about defecation in high modernist literature.
Okay.
People might not appreciate it. It was like the first novel to very prominently feature that process.
Okay, cool.
In very highbrow language.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
By Kiki. I love your name, Kiki.
Yeah, very good.
Cool. Like a
I like the
character.
texture.
Yeah. I like the shapes. And I also like the colors. And then, like a vector approach.
Yeah.
Dramatic. Drama. Someone is being crowned.
Mm-hmm.
And this line work is cool. I wonder if you
very original.
drew them by hand or... Cool. Great job. Then we've got a unicorn fellow with a hat by Ruben. Using Photoshop, it looks like.
Yeah, could be.
Oh, well, he said Photoshop.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, thank you everyone for submitting. It's again really cool to see people creating stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's
inspiring
creative
stuff.
energy.
Creating cloud is raining golden showers of creativity. Perhaps not golden showers, but anyway. Moving on.
Thank you for submitting, everyone. And we're gonna close the contest in about 7 to 10 minutes. So definitely get those submissions in, and the details for the contest are again in the contest tab. Submit it to the form, not in the chat, and we'll take a look at the last batch in about 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
These submissions are super awesome.
Yeah, I don't really know. Do you have a favorite?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, I really like this one.
Yeah, I think
it's really creative.
It's pretty impressive that this person managed to make it in so short a time.
As is your stuff.
Oh, whatever. Yeah, I definitely like their submission. The toilet is quite fun too.
Okay, yeah. And it's cool to see you kind of refining all this, like the edges and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
like,
well, we gotta be doing something, otherwise I'll start talking about things and, you know,
you can talk about what you wish to talk about for sure.
right.
Um,
Well, perhaps we should open to some questions.
yeah. Questions.
Since,
Oh, thanks, Hector. That's nice. I agree.
What did Hector say?
He said hashtag make Alice host again.
Oh, well.
Uh,
It's a campaign now. Well,
it has its own hashtag.
okay, fair enough.
But I think it's cool because
Yeah, I think Alice is very good at it, and
Oh,
you
thank
should
you.
make her host again.
Thank you. Well, like I was saying, I think what you're doing is cool because perhaps if you had done things on separate layers, like if you had each color or something on its own layer, each like section on a layer, you could be using the eraser tool to like refine those details. But
Yeah, but I can't.
instead, you are like going in and like repainting those details, which is
Yeah.
cool.
The only bad thing is that I don't really know. Well, very often you would get something quite cool, and then you will start refining it and changing it, and you will mess things up. And it was better before.
Yeah.
And it's just part of the process. So
Totally.
in a way, I kind of wish I had maybe taken screenshots just to see what the hell I
Oh.
was doing.
I'm glad we have a recording of this.
Oh, we do. Oh my god, I'm an
Yeah.
idiot. Of course we
We
can
could-
see
I
what
could-
I've been doing.
I could rewind it in my computer and then
And then yeah,
if you're
that's
like
fine.
about 5 minutes ago.
No.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually bad because I thought, well, people will think maybe something great was there and now it's lost. But now they can look and see, oh, it was just the same thing but with less detail. Anyway,
So just a reminder, just a few more minutes to get those submissions in. It is 10:38 Pacific time, and we're gonna review at 10:45. So you've got about 5 minutes, give or take.
well, enough time to do something interesting.
Yeah, totally.
And it's not about winning, isn't it?
It's not about winning. Yeah,
It is a bit, but it's also about just sharing the work.
the prize is awesome. I will say,
The price is
1
great.
year Creative Cloud subscription free. That is pretty sweet. But you can also get a free trial, so you get 30 days.
Yeah. Well, people have done impressive things in 2 hours.
Yeah.
In 30 days, you could. Anyway, you can do the calculations of how many of these things you can do.
Yeah, at Herbert, my Instagram is by Alice Lee. So basically, I'm by Alice Lee on the internet.
It's a great name. I like it.
Alice Lee.
Bye.
Oh, yeah.
Like your whole
Well, actually,
having bye there.
Alice Lee is a very common name.
Right. Yeah. Well,
Not
it's
great for
a
SEO.
good solution to that.
Like I've been.
It's better than Alice Lee illustration INC or whatever.
Okay.
It sounds kind of playful and
Yeah. Like I've been working on a project at Facebook, and I sometimes get emails and messages for another
Oh,
Alice
no.
Lee. So
no, that's never a concern in my work.
Roman, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I've never met another
lucky,
Roman.
lucky.
Yeah.
It's cool though. I feel like we're like sharing the internet. There's like other Alice Lees, and I'm kind of like aware of them because people just tweet me.
Oh yeah, you should.
About-
Well, Julian Gladner is a 3D dude.
Okay,
He found another Julian Gladner on Facebook,
cool.
who is a photographer, and just messaged him, and they started collaborating.
Oh, cool.
So
Yeah, there's
maybe you should collaborate with every single Alice Lee in the world.
That's really hard. But there is a Alice Lee, who's a really talented singer, and she was like on Broadway and stuff. So people would
do
tweet.
her album covers.
Yeah, people would tweet me like, "I saw you last night in like blah 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 show," and I'd be like, "No, that wasn't me." But
yeah,
she
you
is
should just
cool.
roll with it.
Yeah, thanks for coming, guys.
Thanks.
for coming to my show. Yeah.
Visit my Patreon.
Do you enjoy your Patreon? Do you feel like it's effective / works / like good use of your time?
I think it's good. A little tip that you have every month. Well, I mean,
Oh, okay.
it's not tip. It's a. I don't make as much as many people do. Like, I think I make about 100 or something like that, which is very nice. But I enjoy the kind of regularity, and also I write process posts in it. So it's a good way to practice analytical thinking and again do this sort of thing. And students like it. because I show all the behind the scenes process that you don't really see anywhere else
Yeah.
unless you are actually working in illustration.
Yeah. A lot of artists are getting on Patreon, which is really cool.
Yeah,
I
well, it's
followed-
an interesting development.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of cartoonists are doing that. Chester Brown is on Patreon. You know, he does post very strange things sometimes.
Oh. Yeah.
Maybe some people probably have heard of what he does.
I don't know.
It's certainly not something I should mention. But
Are you adding specks of light now?
yeah, why not?
That's really cool.
And then some people kind of serialize their comics. So I have tried. So for a while, I kind of switched it to do just comics,
Mm-hmm.
and no one cared about that. And I thought, well, okay, that the people have spoken in a way, and I shouldn't sort of impose it on them, right? I should do what people actually want to
For
see,
sure. Yeah. Oh.
right?
We're just doing.
And I think for people, it's more helpful and interesting to see a process post for my illustration. So I still post comics there, but it's not my main thing on it.
Mm.
It's more like a additional little thing for the more dedicated of my followers.
Yeah. So there have been a lot of comments in the chat about the lighting in your work, like right now,
Oh, okay.
and people are asking like if you used a reference. No, I don't think
Oh no.
it was. If you
God no.
if you actually rewind to like 40 minutes ago, it was like
Yeah, it was just some blobs.
yeah, it was like blobs, and you're almost kind of like sculpting it, which is cool.
Yeah, and I don't really know how to paint or draw or do anything properly in a kind of straightforward, realistic way. So my style is really based on my ignorance in a way. You know, it's about finding unusual solutions that other people would find in a straightforward way.
Mm.
So, for instance, I don't use shadows to show shadows.
Oh, okay.
So if I do my comics, the shadows don't actually show. Wait, they
Well,
do in a
kinda
way,
Shadows.
but they're much. The first purpose is to show the mood. So the lighting is really
Mm.
secondary.
Got it.
You know,
That's cool.
something like Gabrielle Bell, the cartoonist, does it in a different way. You know, she uses these pools of black again, not to show space, but to show the surrounding mood and atmosphere,
Yeah.
or even just to fill up the space conceptually. So I think, yeah, it's really about kind of owning your quirks and knowing your strengths and weaknesses, and using not only your strengths but also your weaknesses.
Totally.
And also, like, what is strengths and weakness? It's just a label that we put on that stuff, right?
I like what you said yesterday about like your failures.
Well,
So,
a
like-
mistake is basically a label
Yeah.
that is imposed on art directors, by art directors, and whatever.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, it's just a quality and aspect of something that we can take or leave.
All right, so we've got one more minute for the contest. We're gonna
Yeah.
end it
Exciting
right on the
stuff.
dot at 10:44 Pacific time. So like in 1 minute. So if don't worry if you're not able to get it in by this first session.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have 3 more sessions with Jenny Yu, Corey Brickley, and Sophie Diao. So you can totally submit it in either of those 3 other artist sessions.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, we are almost at the close of our time.
This is exciting.
Is it exciting?
It's very exciting.
It is
I'm
exciting.
excited. Are you excited?
Yeah. I am excited.
Okay. So, have we got any new?
Yeah, we've got a lot
Oh,
lot
got
left.
a lot. Wow.
All right, so the submissions are closed.
Oh, they don't want us to go. Should we stay forever?
Submissions are closed. Okay, so this is our first entry from the 3rd batch. Got a queen with some nice texture.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Got a
it's a panda with a
panda.
gun.
Oh my God! Is the panda has a gun?
It has maybe a reference to that joke. Where the panda shoots and leaves.
Oh, funny.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never heard that before. That is clever. I get it. Whoa, cool.
Ooh.
Some cool like lighting
Yeah,
layer.
Very nice. It's a
Doing a-
cupcake king, sort of. right?
Cupcake king with a mouse and a bone.
Dog probably. 'Cause it's a
Yeah.
bone.
Oh, dog.
Do mice eat bones?
I don't know.
If pressed,
I think
they
mice.
will eat a
Yeah.
bone.
If pressed,
at gunpoint.
if pressed, they indeed will eat a bone. Ooh, this is a king dreaming about. Oh,
No, it's a fireplace.
it is a he's sleeping, and then there's a fireplace with some
It was evidence.
on fire evidence. Nice work. Crown.
Hmm.
Cool. Oh, I get it. It's an it's like an abstract crown.
Very clever.
Visual pun.
It's a pun, yeah.
Whoa.
Ooh, it's a king. Wow, this
King.
is super professional.
Kalem.
Yeah,
Yeah. Nice symmetry.
damn. Yeah, very nice.
Cool. Like a little scene by Rashi.
Mm,
Thank you for submitting. Lovely.
yeah. That's nice.
Skeletal. Hey, actually, you know, this
Flaming
crown kind of is similar to your crown.
Yeah, it's because
kind of
this
a spiky-
multiplying effect.
Yeah. Ooh, an evil crow.
Wow.
Evil crow.
Again, another crow.
Ah, nice, nice work with the crow. Because of crown. Ooh, very lush,
Yeah,
painterly
very cute.
dude. Ah,
Hmm.
sign of our times.
Hey.
Donald Trump. Ooh, and a candle in a crown.
Oh, also a metaphor, perhaps
Yeah.
one could say.
So yeah, don't worry. Like we're saying in the chat, don't worry if you are a little late to this segment. We will show them in the next one, which is starting in just 10 minutes. So don't worry about that. And thank you to everyone for submitting.
Yeah, keep working.
Yeah, great job.
Don't go anywhere.
So we've gotten a lot of awesome submissions. A lot of different interpretations of crown,
Yeah, very cool.
characters, creatures, crows, eggs. Which one stands out to you, or are there any that's in particular stand out to you?
Well, yeah, The Lion King is definitely very good, but again, as we have to choose subjectively here,
Based on your
based
Personal
on my
opinion.
personal taste,
yeah.
then it will have to be that one.
Huh?
Yeah.
This one, cool.
It's just a very unusual, really nice balance.
Yeah, I do really like drawings that are like quirky, and I mean this in the best way possible, like weird, you know,
Mm. Yeah,
Like,
yeah, me too.
where you could
obviously.
just kind of see the person's like
yeah,
who they are, you know. It's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. I think it's
So-
it's more interesting to see something that's
Offbeat.
offbeat,
Yeah.
than just another
Candy.
nice things. Because there's too many nice things in the world, I think,
Nice.
and there's not enough original things.
So congratulations to Cosmic Nuggets from Aberdeen, UK.
Oh, okay, Aberdeen.
Sweet.
I've been to Aberdeen. Have you
Oh.
been to Aberdeen?
No.
I have been to Aberdeen.
Wow.
Okay,
So yeah.
so I yeah, that's why I picked it.
Congratulations. And don't worry, to Julie and to the others who submitted after the deadline, we will definitely get to them in the next one. So do not worry. Your work will be seen and appreciated.
Yes.
Yeah,
Definitely.
congrats. Sweet. So we've got about, 5 minutes. And this is our final day of streaming.
Yeah,
I know.
I will be gone forever. From the stream.
I have to say, this was a really fun and hilarious experience
Well,
for
thank
me
you.
as a host.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this too.
Yeah,
And it's not often that you get to.
just like talk. Just be
Yeah.
yourself and talk.
Right, right. I mean,
Yeah.
my friends are subjected to this all the time.
That's cool.
But they don't treat me with the same level of reverence. They don't cling to my words with the
I know, people
appreciation
are
that they
saying-
deserve.
People are saying they want Roman. Don't go, Roman.
Okay, maybe I'll stay forever. And starve. No. But do you guys have any last questions? Please return, both of you.
Smiley face.
Well, if
Twas
they,
fun
if
to
they
watch.
allow us.
Yeah, they allow us. Thanks, Andre. Your humor is hilarious.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have not been laughing uneasily. I've been laughing hysterically.
Yeah, you said it 3 times. That
know.
kind of makes it sound uneasy. Yeah. Let's put on the other picture for change.
Yeah.
Which one do you like better?
Personally, I like the girl.
Yeah, I like her better.
But I also
Especially
like the other
because it
one.
was entirely unplanned.
I think that guy would be a really cool, like, it'd be really cool to incorporate him into your life in some weird way.
In
like-
my what?
In some weird way.
In my life?
Yeah, like, print it on the inside of a coffee cup or something,
Okay.
you know? So it's like, you're just going about your life, and then you just
Mm.
see this dude.
Interesting.
Yeah. Or like,
Or
on
it
a
could be like
poster or
that
something.
little man that's in your head.
yeah.
He goes, everything you're saying is
Yeah.
nonsense.
Yeah.
Do you have that?
Sometimes when I feel like I'm not making good stuff,
Yeah,
then I'm like, why did I do this?
right.
Yeah.
I think it's good to have that person.
Timothy says, okay, I'll buy a print, Roman. Stop asking.
That's great.
Yeah, follow his Patreon and check out the books that he's.
Yeah,
Reference.
let's do a kind of wrap down. So again, we can follow Alice on by Alice Lee. Is that right? Come on,
Yeah.
I'm trying to be professional.
And you can follow. I know,
Um,
but it's just too funny. You can follow Ramon
follow on all the channels, on all the multiples.
at Bluebed
Bluebad.net.
and Patreon. It'd be just Bluebed or Roman.
I think it's Bluebad. Yeah, and then next year I have a couple of new books coming out. One of them is really nuts, and the other one is completely accessible.
Wow, can
So
you
it's,
describe
like,
both? And,
Catered to everyone.
specifically, how
Yeah.
how should we find out about this?
Well, one of them is
Follow
called
you?
On Doing Nothing, and Chronicle Books putting it out in April. And it's kind of some of all my philosophical musings that you either enjoy or are irritated by.
Oh.
And if you're irritated by it, I don't know why we're watching. But anyway, so if you feel like you want more of this, but in a nicely edited form with pretty illustrations, kind of like this one, then yeah, it's coming out in April, and I've been working pretty hard on it. I think it's a very, very good book. It's there's nothing about me in it. It's all about other artists and people that I find inspiring and different artistic techniques and whatever. And it's kind of, I wanted to write a book that's not about illustration at all, but can be applied to any practice or anyone. It's about idleness and how important repetition, delay, and all those movements can be in
Cool.
art practice.
Awesome. Well, we'll definitely keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
We're just about to wrap
buy many copies
Definitely. Buy
for every
many,
person that you know,
many copies.
especially for your enemies.
They'll make awesome gifts. And to answer your question, Julie, I think we both have a studio and like home space.
Yeah, I don't have much of a home space. I have a depressing room, but I do work in the studio like you.
So coming up next, we've got Jenny Yu, who is in the studio, and she will be also on her last day. This is day 3 for everyone. And then at 1 p.m. Pacific time, we also have Corey. And then at 3 p.m., we have Sophie Diao. So tune in. If you didn't get to submit your contest, don't fret. We've got 3 amazing artists coming up. And thank you for joining us for these last 3 days. Thank you, Ramon. Thank you, Adobe, for having us.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Thank you for your patience.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Putting up with me.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Cool.
Okay.